I know a few people who composed By and By with Clyde Davis, and they needed to leave them before they hurt. I would agree in the event that you attempted it with him, folks, why you didn't attempt with him at Clyde Davis' home. And that is where the story started. Clyde Davis. If Clive Davis says, I never again need to be related with you, what you need I promise you with Clive. Cut you Lucy done you're done, Clive Davis. You realize save Puff after he was tossed out of Uptown Records by Andrea Rail. Look at the image. It seemed like everyone go to prison or wind up dying, yet you hello their music sweethearts. Have you at any point considered what dim powers might have been affecting everything behind the secretive passings of a portion of our most prominent music symbols? Well, get ready to have your brains blown on the grounds that new subtleties have surfaced, affirming what a large number of us have long thought. Clive Davis, the music business big shot, might have had a hand, and Jingle VIP murders, and numerous other people who knew the music business was more merciless than a sword-battling round of high physicians. Discussing strange passings in the music business, we should discuss Janis Joplin and Whitney Houston, two notorious vocalists whose troublesome destructions have left us scratching our heads. Janis, the sovereign of rock and roll, died at the youthful age of 27 from a heroin glut blended in with a digit of liquor. Some trick scholars have estimated that her demise might not have been a mishap, yet the authority report says something else. Still, it's hard not to contemplate whether there was more going on behind the scenes. And afterward, there's Whitney Houston, a legend taken from us unreasonably soon. She was found dead in a Beverly Slopes Inn bath in 2012 with cocaine and her framework and injuries on her body. To make matters considerably creepier, there was some person named Scratch Gordon hiding around season of her demise. Was he engaged with her disastrous end? It's difficult to say yet when Puma Wright apparently affirms the hypothesis. It certainly makes you return home. Leola Earthy Colored, Bobby Earthy Colored sister, is set on a few events that she was thumped. They saw her body. The court considered him answerable for the demise of Houston's girl. Bobby Christina Earthy Colored, who kicked the bucket in a strikingly comparable style 5 years after the fact. Panther likewise expressed this about how Clyde needed to utilize Whitney. He really wanted her back. He really wanted her back. Yet he really wanted her back and under his influence. Sure, there have been bits of gossip and fear-inspired notions about what truly happened, yet the genuine duct might be more treacherous than we at any point envisioned. Enter Clive Davis, the genius behind Arista Records, and the man liable for marking legends like Janis Joplin and Whitney Houston. Yet here's the kicker. Davis was more keen on producing hit records and making gains than truly assisting his craftsmen with their addictions. He had some awareness of Joplin and Houston's battles. Yet rather than getting them the assistance they required, he chose to disregard despicable right. That is not sick people. The shameful history of craftsman passings, criminal convictions, and unsafe indecencies at Sceneco's terrible kid diversion record name, which was associated with Clyde Davis, is notable in the business. Scene brushes, otherwise called Puffy P. Diddy and Diddy side specialists, to his Arista records on paper. Awful kid. Yet sadly a significant number of them fell into ruin. It's a useful example about the clouded side of the music business, where the charm of distinction and fortune can in some cases come at a staggering expense. The lamentable demise of infamous Enormous, perhaps of the best rapper ever, carried the music world deeply. And he's not by any means the only one with sparkle. A growing craftsman at the time went to prison for endeavored murder, and Gap was indicted for homicide and shipped off jail. Craig Mack and BlackRock died early in life because of chronic frailty, with murmurs and tales encompassing dark ransacks sexual well-being for quite a long time. Much more unfortunate is the narrative of Lil Gerald, who was only 11 when he created schizophrenia because of the upsetting things he was presented to in the business. It's a depressing update that the cost of popularity can be marvelously high, yet it wasn't simply the craftsman who experienced the contract killer, a gathering of makers answerable for producing terrible kids' numerous victories. they'll go to the Ning's way of life of overabundance, which included sloping cocaine use and sexual lewdness. The damaging propensities that were commended inside the name prompted many individuals' lives being destroyed. And on the off chance that you figured things couldn't deteriorate, clutch your caps, Diddy. The man behind Awful Kid was blamed for having sexual relations with underage young men during an administration examination that included a attendant who was just 15 at the time. On top of that, Diddy supposedly made it unimaginably challenging for attention to leave Clive Davis' name. By sewing on them, it's a chilling update that the music business can be a dull and risky spot where individuals' resides are broken chasing distinction and fortune puffy. Was the one that squealed us out, "Yo be yo, your young ladies up here, Matt messing with yo." And I'll get it, for what reason are you going to narc us out, canine? Quite a long time ago, there were two attractive folks from Europe, Fabris, Morbin, and Lutpilidus, who held on to an extraordinary craving to turn out to be pop stars with their snappy tunes and extravagant dance moves. They before long became renowned as Milli Vanilli. Anyway, the stunning truth later arose that they were just lip syncers recruited for their attractive features. When this disclosure became exposed, their Grammy for Best New Craftsman was removed, leaving their fans disheartened and disappointed, regardless of the embarrassment. Milli Vanilli's Young Lady, you realize its actual collection, disseminated by the unbelievable music industry magnate Clive Davis, sold north of 1 million duplicates. The Clive and Arista records rushed to leave. The couple and individuals began to contemplate whether Clive had realized about their lip matching up. From the beginning, tales flowed that since Clive was just intrigued by cash, he attempted to exploit Milli Vanilli's ubiquity in Europe by carrying them to the U.S. Straightforward Farian, a music maker known for his false plans, missiled two young fellows from Germany burglarize and Fab by offering them a record bargain that they accepted would send off their music vocation anyway. It was subsequently found that Farian had no expectation of permitting them to sing, as he thought about them as a skilled. Rather, he made the lip sync to pre-recorded tracks. Their misdirection was uncovered in 1990 when a track they were lip synchronizing to during a live exhibition on public TV drama, stopping it to rehash the words "young lady, you know it, young lady, you know it, young lady." You realize it's this disclosure set off a media furor and a public kickback, prompting the defeat of Milli Vanilli. The consequence of the embarrassment was horrendous. Looted, who had battled with habit because of the music business tensions, was found dead at a lodging in Germany in 1998. He passed on from an excess of liquor and remedy pills. Fab then again found it trying to adapt to the kickback, including the repudiation of their Grammy grant for Best New Craftsman. In spite of the fact that he attempted to seek after a performance vacation, he was always unable to get away from the shadow of the embarrassment. The narrative of Milli Vanilli is only one little piece of the questionable history of music maker. Straightforward Varian had a long history of trickiness that extended back to his initial days in the music business during the 1970s. He took a tune from prepared legend Ruler